Cell, the unit of life, is one of the major chapter in first PUC biology. In this video, we will see some of the important topics for the exam. One of the important topic is cell theory. Cell theory proposed by Sheldon and Chavan, and it is modified by Rudolf Virchow. And according to cell theory, all living organisms are composed of cells, and the new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. Omnis cellulae cellula. One mark question is mesosome, and mesosomes are the extensions of plasma membrane of the cell. They help in cell wall formation, DNA replication, and respiration. This is respiration. Then ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis. They are the protein factories. One of the important question is polyribosomes or polysomes. Polyribosomes means many ribosomes attached on the single mRNA, attached to the single mRNA, that is called as polyribosomes. Inclusions bodies for 1 mark. These are the reserved material in prokaryotic cells like bacteria. They are stored. They are having a stored bodies with some substances. The plant cell diagram is very important for 5 marks. You need to practice a lot to get full marks. It's a 5 marks question. Similarly, animal cell diagram also important for 5 marks. Practice and learn the diagram. Now, another important topic is fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane. Fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane proposed by Singer and Nicholson. In plasma membrane, you can find phospholipid bilayer, and this phospholipid bilayer is made up of polar head and nonpolar tail. Polar head and nonpolar tail. In addition to that, we can find some of the peripheral proteins and some integral proteins, and some sugar molecules also attached to the phospholipid bilayer. And this membrane is selectively permeable. You can say semi-permeable membrane. It's a 5 marks question. Along with the diagram, you need to explain these points. Where in phospholipid bilayer, polar head is hydrophilic, means water loving part, and nonpolar tail is hydrophobic. And in erythrocytes, in RBC, the plasma membrane is made up of 52% of protein and 40% of lipid. The next important topic from this chapter is difference between plant cell and animal cell. So the difference, like plant cell has a cell wall, animal cell does not have a cell wall. Plant cell has large vacuole, and in animal cell there are many small vacuoles. Chloroplast is present in plant cell because plants are autotrophs, and chloroplast is absent in animal cell. In plant cell, centrosomes and lysosomes are absent, whereas in animal cell, centrosomes and lysosomes are present. So any 5 differences to remember for the exam. Now for 1 mark, cell wall composition they are going to ask. Cell wall composition is cellulose, hemicellulose, and pectin. Regarding middle lamella, also 1 mark question. Middle lamella is made up of calcium pectate, and its function is to hold the neighboring cells together. Then endoplasmic reticulums. So endomembrane system, 1 mark question. Endomembrane systems includes endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, and vacuoles. These are the parts of endomembrane system. Now there are some organs which are not the part of endomembrane system. They are not the part of endomembrane systems. The organelles such as mitochondria, chloroplast, peroxisomes. These organelles are not the part of endomembrane system because they are not coordinated with the endomembrane system organelles and are not considered as a part of endomembrane system. Important for 2 marks. Then endoplasmic reticulum is of 2 types. If it is having ribosomes on its surface, it is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum, whose function is to synthesize protein. If ribosomes are absent on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum, they are called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And smooth endoplasmic reticulum are the major sites for lipid, whereas in animal cell, smooth endoplasmic reticulum are responsible for the formation of steroid hormones. So for 1 mark, you need to remember that. And another important organelle of the cell is Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus. So whatever the protein synthesizes in the ribosomes and endoplasmic reticulum, they are going to modified in Golgi apparatus. So they are the important site for the formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids. Lysosomes are the suicide bags of the cells. They are the membrane bound organelles and they are formed from Golgi apparatus. They have some hydrolytic enzymes like hydrolases, lipases, proteases and carbohydrases. They are active at acidic pH and these enzymes are capable of digesting biomolecules. So that's why they are called as suicide bags of the cell. Another important topic is vacuole. Vacuole also a membrane bound space in the cytoplasm. It contains water, sap, excretory products and other materials which are not useful for the cell. The important question for 1 mark is the vacuole is surrounded by a membrane called tonoplast, and in plant cell vacuole occupies around 90% of the volume of the cell. Mitochondria structure and its explanation is important for 5 marks. So diagram is important. You can find outer membrane, inner membrane, and in the inner membrane so many foldings you can find cristae. Inner membrane encloses a fluid called matrix. Mitochondria has its own DNA and its own ribosome. So mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell because it generates cellular energy in the form of ATP. So regarding the structure you need to explain. Plastids are found only in plant cells. There are 3 types of plastids based on the pigment present: chloroplast, chromoplast, leucoplast. Important classification of plastids: chloroplast, chromoplast and leucoplast. Or individually they may ask for 5 marks the structure of chloroplast. This is the structure of chloroplast where you can find the inside the chloroplast there is a fluid, there is a part called stroma, fluid called stroma, where many inside the stroma many thylakoids are joined to form grana. It is also double membrane. Its structure you need to explain. So chloroplast contains a pigment called chlorophyll and carotenoid pigment which is and they are responsible for trapping the light energy during photosynthesis. And second type of plastid is chromoplast. It has a fat soluble carotenoid pigment like carotene xanthophyll. They gives yellow or orange or red color to the plant part. Another 3 marks important question is the types of leucoplast. 3 marks question. Leucoplast is a colorless plastid and they meant for storing the nutrients. And based on the type of food it stores, there are 3 types of leucoplast: amyloplast, elioplast and aleuroplast. Amyloplast stores carbohydrate, elioplast stores oils and fats, and aleuroplast stores protein. Important for 3 marks. The structure of nucleus is very important, and nucleus is discovered by Robert Brown. Inside the nucleus there is a part called nucleolus. For 1 mark they are going to ask. Nucleolus is a site for ribosomal RNA synthesis. Now very important last part is classification of chromosomes based on the position of centromere. So based on the position of centromere there are 3 types of chromosomes: metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric and telocentric.